other sentences. Whether you are formally an employee role to someone, whether you're a formal advisor, or whether you tell your grandma to check out your pictures on Facebook, whether you tell your friends what you're getting along in, you're an advisor. This is the result of you being more knowledgeable than other people in the state, and that's how we get down to our fourth point. You're a navigator. You are one of the responsible citizens of this area, and as such, you have a choice, and you have an opportunity to steer us through clear waters, through storm, and other such sailing analogies. I like circles. Of course, not everyone cares. Very small core group of informed, educated users. A very large group of people who don't care about how things work, they just want it to work. Informed users, I mean, it's hard to put numbers around it. Informed users are people who care about the rootkit hack on, the iPod, and people who are really into it, versus everyone in the world who uses an iPod. There's a huge outer circle. There's an inner circle of people who really care about it and are going to steer the way going forward. I've always wanted to use this chart. Yeah, it's giant arrows, some numbers going upwards. I could have put some real charts up there. That would have been fun too. And if anyone has any stats they want to throw in, now's the time to do it. Facebook claims that 50% of all their active users log into the site each day. That means 175 million users every 24 hours. 65 million of those users are accessing them mobile-based technologies. Over the last 6 months, that's a 100% increase in both mobile and usages as well. Twitter, in January 2010, saw more tweets in one day, almost 40 million, than the entire month of September 2008. You're doing my picks from here on out, because that's my next slide. So we're going to talk about kids, about young people. And I'm going to call them kids, and I'm not that old. I call them kids anyway because they're younger than me. But kids these days. But what I'm trying to get at, is there a generation gap in what you consider privacy, in what you put out there online? Or alternatively, is it a result of the vast majority of people? And there's different network. There are different stats for each network. But a lot of the networks in the public have a lot of young people and have a lot of their usage patterns are different in that they use the technology differently. They use it for flirting, right? They use it for interacting with their social peers, whereas interacting with your business peers is very different. They're using it for different things. It's a usage pattern more than an age pattern. And if we're going to get around a sustainable conversation in terms of privacy, in terms of privacy control, we definitely have to think about that. How do we create sustainability within our society, our online society, and networks? Development of privacy norms. Cavemen, fire. Yes, they had marshmallows. That's a scientific fact. I put that up on Wikipedia. In order to be part of the society, you had to sit around the fire. You had to talk about your day. What did you kill or what did you bring home? Now that evolved, of course, when we get into the first major step in what is private, what is public, was Aristotle saying that in order to be a complete human being in the society, you have to have a public face. If you didn't have a public face, people would find you suspicious. And if you only had a private life, now you're often called out for it and you're actually kicked out of the councils. Part of the moment you find this, and then every day after, is a balancing act. It's a balancing act between what privacy are you willing to give up in exchange for the benefits of this society online. What are you willing to put out there in order to achieve and get the utility of all of us helping you, or of you helping us? And it's different for different people, and it's different for different cultures. There's, even something as simple as Google Street View had a very different reaction in Germany, or in, I think it was Milton Keynes in the UK, where they blocked the Google streetcar from coming in, or the Street View car from coming into their town, because they didn't want people photographing them through the window and whatnot. And then you come across the ocean, so it's different between Western world and Eastern world, and different countries, different cultures. And in the US, we're going to make it public, and in Canada, we're going to make it public because it's public, it's not evil. Or at least if it is evil, people can find out about it. Perceived benefit versus perceived risk. And I know you don't think about it all the time, we're going to get back to this later, but every time you put something online, you're putting this seesaw in your head. And And it goes, and every time you hear someone say, well, Foursquare is risky, or it's risky to put something out there. Well, yeah, but for every person's been fired because of what they put on Facebook, how many people have been hired because of it? How many people have been hired because of the insights they display in 140 characters versus tweeting about what they're eating that day for lunch? It goes both ways, and we sort of all do it every single day, sometimes consciously, sometimes not.